This vantage point here on top of Mount Washington, Pittsburgh, looks sprawling and grand. There are some 370,000 people down there, and they're on the move. But like any other major American city, Pittsburgh too has its share of problems. Major debt, a shrinking tax base, the decline of the steel industry. But there's a young gun in town who's trying to change that. He's the mayor, and his name is Luke Ravenstahl. He's just 27 years old. That makes Luke Ravenstahl the youngest mayor of a major American city. And yes, he's got some big challenges ahead for him as he tries to lead this city. He's been in office for 1 year already, and so on this, his 1 year anniversary, I thought I'd come pay him a visit so I can hear how he thinks he's doing so far in the face of his many critics, and also to get his assessment on the challenges and the promise still ahead for this city. Mayor, 1 year's come and gone. How do you feel?
I feel great. It's a tremendous opportunity to lead this city, and growing up here and becoming the mayor at such a young age has been something I always really dreamed about. But to be here now and reflecting on 1 year, it's been a great year, and excited about the future.
Well, I want to talk about you as being the nation's youngest mayor, and I also want to talk about your accomplishments in office over the first year.
Sure.
Let's start there. Let's start there because that's the achievements. Now, how would you assess yourself after 1 year in office? How do you think you've done so far?
I think we've done a tremendous amount of good things in the city of Pittsburgh. First of all, on the financial side of things, many viewers may not know the city of Pittsburgh a few years ago was near bankruptcy. We're now in the process of preparing our second structurally balanced budget in a row, really trying to get Pittsburgh's fiscal house in order once again. And that's important because in many ways, in order for us to have a vibrant and growing city, you have to have a sound city government. So we've done that, been successful in doing that. On the economic development side, we've done some great things. We're really looking at rebuilding downtown Pittsburgh as a housing mecca for people to move into. We've recently passed a tax abatement program which will encourage people to move into downtown Pittsburgh. And so those are just a few of the small things that we've done in one short year.
A lot has been written about you in terms of neighborhoods first.
Sure.
You believe in trying to revitalize the city's great neighborhoods around here. It's a big initiative for you.
It is, and the tax abatement program I just mentioned applies to downtown Pittsburgh, but also 21 surrounding Pittsburgh communities that haven't seen investment, that have been neglected, and that's important. And so we've launched very aggressive cleanup campaigns in those neighborhoods. We've launched crime initiative through the police department to try to cut down and curtail some of the nuisance crime and activity in our community. Pittsburgh is a city of neighborhoods, and that's really what my administration is focused on.
How have you been managing with the critics so far? Because any mayor of a big
Sure.
city, the critics have to have fodder, and you're it.
I'm it, and I've been it for the last couple of months, and it's been something that I've had to adjust to. There's no doubt about it, but I think it goes with the territory of being the mayor, and I understand that now.
Let me read something for you, get
Sure.
your feedback. This is one of the columnists here in town, right? So a year later, I guess he's giving you a report card. Ravenstahl's critics are more outspoken, his supporters are more hesitant, and many say he hasn't produced enough change in this distressed city. You say what?
I say that's political fodder, and you understand that you're always going to have critics, and that's really what I've learned over the first year, that no matter what you do, no matter how successful you are, you're always going to have people saying you should have done this differently or should have done that differently, and I understand that. But when you really look at the whole picture and what we've been able to accomplish, I really believe that the residents that live here, they understand that they have an administration that's doing people's work.
You do have some challenges, and you touched on some of those. Sure. You talked about some of the issues that you're dealing with, and this says that you're dealing with a $1.2 billion debt. Well, that's not your fault, but you have to deal with it.
Correct.
That the city has been financially distressed, a shrinking population, and it also says likely the tax revenues will be shrinking as expenditures will be rising, and they want to see what you're going to do about that.
Sure. Our big three issues in terms of legacy costs: pension, healthcare, debt, and obviously the debt is something that took 20, 30 years to build up. It's going to take a long-term, comprehensive approach to deal with that. Pension, the same thing, and then healthcare. We're looking at providing next year, for example, we have 3 providers this year. Next year, we're consolidating to one, saving the city $17 million over a 3-year period of time. Okay.
I had a conversation with a local resident today, just a guy, he has no political agenda that I'm aware of, and he had this, I asked him about you. Okay. I think you'll be interested in his feedback. He says he has no concerns about your integrity, but he is concerned about your experience and your judgment. he talked about the ethics board investigation. Sure. I think that matter has been resolved in terms of you a golf match, you know, for charity. But he says he has no concerns about your integrity. So the question, I guess, is this: does your youth offset what people might think about your leadership skills?
Well, I think naturally when you're 27 years old, and you know, it's no mistake or it's no secret that I'm not the most experienced guy that's ever walked in City Hall, but I think that's a good thing, and I think that's positive, and I think the people of Pittsburgh want to see how we can do things differently than we've done them in the past. We've been near bankruptcy. How are we going to change that? And I plan on being here for a long period of time, and so I'm going to look at issues not this year or next year, but issues that are going to have impact 10 years, 20 years, 30 years down the line.
And how long do you think it'll take before they get over the young mayor and just start to call you the mayor or his honor? Because again, there are a lot of people out there that might think, hey, this guy is young and inexperienced. Sure. Maybe I can manipulate him. Maybe I can steer him my way with my personal agenda.
It takes time, and really time will heal all of the questions, I believe, about the experience questions and the ability to make change. And I realize now that's going to take time, but putting an aggressive agenda forward and continuing to implement ideas and implement a vision for the future of this city, I think that over time will answer all of those critics.
Well, you mentioned time. It looks like you may have the benefit of that time, because although you're up for re-election right now, you're a Democrat. This is a heavily Democratic city, some 5-1. You outnumber the Republicans here. And your Republican challenger is a write-in candidate. So it doesn't on the surface appear that you're going to have much problems being able to stay in office.
Well,
the problem is what you're going to do with it next.
Sure.
Next administration.
I really believe that the campaign this fall is an opportunity for me, because I've never run citywide. I was a city council president. Mayor O'Connor passed away, to talk about my vision for Pittsburgh, to talk about what I want to do, and the campaign will provide me the opportunity to do that. And so I look at it as a positive in terms of my administration and our ability to communicate the vision for the future.
Sure, you're not taking it for granted now.
Not at all.
Although you have to say that, I understand.
No, absolutely. Not taking anything for granted, and I believe that if we've done what we continue to do what we've done over the first year in terms of governing, that's obviously going to translate into ideally success at the polls. Good government is good politics as far as I'm concerned.
If I come back here after another year, and let's assume that you're still in office at that time, and conduct more impromptu interviews out on the streets, will I hear more good things about you?
We'd like to think so, and if you hear good things about me, that's naturally a translation into good things happening in Pittsburgh. That's what I'm here for. That's why I ran for office, and that's why I enjoy public service so much.
All right, good luck to you as
you
lead the city.
Appreciate your time.
Mayor Luke Ravenstall, a very interesting young man, and I appreciate his sharing his time with me.